You said at the press conference before that if you could relive anyone's memories, you would choose Jesus Christ. Was that a joke, or did you mean that serious?
I meant that seriously. We work in the dark to serve the light.
Hey guys, stand by to shoot.
We are assassins.
Assassin's Creed has been released as a game in 2007. Now, 9 years later, we're sitting here talking about the movie. How much of the legacy of the game did you incorporate in the movie?
I guess one of the hardest things that we had from the beginning was it's such a dense universe. You know, Ubisoft gave us these Bibles that were like, you know, this thick, and our main sort of concern was how are we going to distill all of this into simple things for people to sort of to grasp. So we tried to sort of keep the real sort of tent poles in place. So it was like Templars, assassins, genetic memory, and essentially genetic time travel through the Animus and the Apple of Eden. And then also we wanted to create original characters. We wanted to create an original timeline and regression. We thought that it would help both Ubisoft and New Regency and DMC. We all felt that would be a wise thing to do, because we wanted to set up our own camp, and this is a film and it's not a video game. And so, in a way, it gave us a nice bit of distance, but we were still, you know, honoring the sort of real key elements of the game.
Through the projection of your genetic memories,
it allows us to observe and you to relive the life of your ancestors.
You said at the press conference before that if you could relive anyone's memories, you would choose Jesus Christ. Was that a joke, or did you mean that serious?
I meant that seriously. Yeah.
Wow. That is brave.
Why?
to relive his life, his memories.
Well, if I'm allowed to choose anyone, it just seemed to me it was the first story that really affected me. So it's the first story that really did, you know, affect me deeply as a child. I just remember thinking, you know, about this man who was a god, but he was a man, and all these sort of the stories and experiences. So yeah, I'd love to be able to sort of explore that and see. Mm-hmm. And we're all related to the Son of God, apparently, so it makes sense.
Assassins and Templars have been at war for centuries.
You once said, at least that's what I read, that you never had a video game player. Did that change by now?
I have played video games. The last time I've had stints where I've played quite sort of, you know, obsessively, and I think that's the nature of video games. So the last time I really played was 16 years ago, and it was a racing game. I can't remember the name of it. I remember you could choose like either sort of Japanese sort of modern day sort of cars like you'd see in Fast and the Furious, or old sort of muscle cars from the 70s. Anyway, that was a long time ago. Since you know, jumping on board with this, I have played the game, but not very well. I think, you know, again, one needs to put many hours in before I can figure out the secret doors and just sort of get to grips with the movements, actually.
What does a game need to have to captivate you?
I mean, this is very captivating. The world that they create is so precise, and I mean, the one thing that I did realize is that how advanced and sophisticated games have got since 16 years ago, since I played them. It's incredible how quickly the technology is moving forward. So yeah, I mean, all of them really interest me. I mean, I really did find this to be, again, a very addictive sort of world to be in. It's just, I suppose, at the moment, I have very little time. I choose to do kind of other things, but like maybe when I retire, I'll start gaming again.
We've traced his bloodline back 500 years. His name is Callum Rich.
What do you want from me?
Your past.
Assassins, they fight to save the freedom. And they have some very unique weapons they use. What is your favorite tool?
Well, I've got to say, I do love the blades because it's the ultimate assassin to get close to the mark to use the blade as opposed to being able to strike someone from a distance. And then just from my own personal sort of history with weapons, I always liked the bow and arrow. So my first bow and arrow was made of bamboo, then I got a fiberglass one when I was a little older. So I enjoy shooting bow and arrow.
Very cool. Thank you so
thanks.
much for the interview.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
Thanks.
Thanks.